Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us again for another episode of a Wild Time podcast. Thank you guys for all the subscribes and likes, or should I say subscriptions? I don't know. Either way, you know what I'm talking
Subscription, subscribe, same thing. Tomato.
Tomato is Houston. Let me tell you something. Before I give this man the proper introduction, I just want to say,
well, you know, hey, Adam, I don't need no introduction, brother, because I'm on your show. Now, being on your show, man, we good. We just conversating, and that's that's the best thing about a podcast is that you can naturally conversate and be good. So, I don't need no introduction.
Oh,
we conversating as friends.
One of the coolest things about you, in my opinion, in your mixed martial, you do a lot of cool stuff. Like I was saying before we even started talking, I noticed a lot of cool stuff you did. But the music, the song that you came out to, I mean, the menacing DMX. What's my name? Oh. Listen. The man has fought in the UFC. The man has fought in Bellator. The man has fought in shark fights, and he is killing it with bare knuckle competition. But that is not all Houston Alexander is doing, my friend. Houston Alexander is giving back to his community. He's doing a lot of great things for the children. And like myself, we've got our hands in a lot of places right now. We're just staying busy.
Yes, sir.
Houston, what's been happening, dude? Like you said, you were at the school today. How's it been going, dude?
Oh man, everything's good, man. And as we spoke off camera, you do things for the kids because at the end of the day, Adam, you get to the kids, and who does that get to? The parents. So you get to the kids, you get to the parents, and maybe they'll act like they got some sense.
Dude, you sound just like you're from around here. You've got that mentality. Act like
hey,
they got some sense.
I'm from East St. Louis, so and my people from Arkansas, Mississippi, man, I got people from down south. You know, us black folks is down there.
Oh yeah, hey, listen, I've got one of my friends. I was talking to him earlier. His name's Devontae Smith. Great guy, heck of an athlete.
Devontae sound black.
He is. Hey, listen, hilarious too. When you told me the joke off camera when you and your girlfriend was talking about Walmart and the buns, that was something straight from him. So I was cracking up on the inside.
Hey man, I don't know why people don't think that's a fun. I thought that was funny. The guy was stacking buns, and I asked him how soft it was his buns.
Oh so yeah,
and that's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't laugh at that? And it was like I was thinking your girlfriend or your wife. I can't remember. She's like, no, it wasn't funny. And I was like, dude.
That's because she's a hater.
My wife, if I go through a drive-through and if she thinks I'm speaking just odd or something, she's like, they're going to spit in our food. Don't do that. It ain't funny. It ain't cute. And I'm like, no, I'm just trying
to. Hey, you know what? You don't know if they end up laughing, they might give you extra food.
There you go. You gotta be a people person.
You tell your wife that if they end up laughing, they might end up giving you extra fries. You just don't know.
Hey, listen, man, I'm so tickled to have you on here. And the thing about Houston Alexander,
if you're that tickled, then you should be a big ass tickle me elbow.
A big blank tickle me elbow. I like that. I like the tickle me hand hole that you was talking about. You asked me if
what are you about 6'3", Adam?
I'm about 6'2", 260, I guess.
Okay, well, hey man, you a big dude. So the tickle me Elmo phrase, and you're probably a linebacker from where you from.
Never did play football, man. Played basketball growing up. I was a basketball player.
For a second, where are you from again?
I'm from Eastern Floyd County, Kentucky, the far east side, the mountains.
Oh, right now they throwing stones at you, young man, because you didn't play football.
Well, I went to the dentist today, and the dentist hadn't seen me in like 10 years. I know you probably don't care about this, but he said,
I'm listening.
He said, man, you turned out to be a big dude. He said, you still use the run of the family. And I was like, well, I appreciate that.
We'll say, this is what I'm going to do right now. Hold on. Now, Adam, you being almost 6'2". I'm sorry, almost 6'3". Never. Hey, yeah, you never played football.
Never did. My son plays.
Right. And you're from Kentucky, from the South, the Super Bowl of football, the South. I will issue you, for all Kentuckians, a flag on a play for you not playing football. Okay.
Well,
That's
I'll
all.
tell you what.
All Kentuckians seeing a 6'3". How much you weigh?
I'm 260 at the moment.
Oh, excuse me. Another flag on the play. Issue to Adam for not ever playing football in Kentucky.
Well,
I know
if I could go back,
Kentuckians out there.
if I could go back, I would have probably played. But my son got into it, and I'm really glad he did because he enjoys it.
Well,
and
right now, how
actually,
tall is your son? 6'7"?
he is. He's 13. I would say he's probably close to 5 foot. But the interesting part is their grade school got to the Final Four of the state titles or state championship this year, so they had a really successful season.
Well, what's your son's name?
He's standing here. Come over here. His name is Max.
Yeah, let me go ahead and see your son real quick.
Come over here.
Hey, we just having a conversation. Come on over, young man.
He's coming. Come over here, Wild Man. He's actually got a trip he's got to go to tomorrow for basketball state tournament, another one. So he's always busy.
Boy, being busy for the young folks today is a good thing.
Oh yeah, that's it. And we stay, man. We stay active.
Yes, sir. All right, sit down, young man, so I can see you. Okay. All right, scoot over. Yeah, that's it. Now, come on up to the light so I can see you. Now, there you go. Now, now hold on. Yeah, this is a good-looking young man.
Yeah, he took after his mom.
Oh, okay. Hey. Now, what is your name, young man?
Max.
Max? Did you say Max?
Yeah.
Well, Max, how old are you again?
13. And I'm not close to 5 foot. I'm taller than that. He did me wrong.
Your dad was just a little off on the height, y'all. Well, you know what, Max? Just because your dad messed up your height, you're gonna be way taller than he is.
Hopefully, I'm like 5'4".
Hey, so guess what, Max? Don't ever be that guy that your dad did and not play football in Kentucky, okay?
All right.
He's actually teetering on not playing, so I'm glad you told him this. Me and his mom want him to continue playing.
Oh man, you gotta play football. You know what the great position for guys who are just as tall as you guys are, and that's the tight end position. That's the best position to be on the field with. So Max Way, what position you play on the basketball court? You look like a point guard.
I play that and shooting guard and small forward.
Okay, wow. Well, young man, well, good luck with basketball. And are you a good student?
Yeah.
Okay, what are your grades? A's and B's?
All A's.
All A's? Woo! Hey, so that's even better. That's the A, man. All A's, hey man. I love to hear all A's. All A's is better than being on a football team or being on a basketball team. All A's means you got it up here. That means that if you ever act up one day, your dad's gonna punch you in your face for acting up.
Well, his mom is really tough. I'm the pushover, and she's a teacher actually at the same school. So he's got no room to mess up down there.
It sounds like Max wants to have good grades. You want to have good grades, Max?
Yeah. Well, as long as it's over an A. Yeah.
Well, as long as something you're interested in, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, don't get punched in the throat by your dad. Your dad will punch you in your throat. saying the wrong things. Max, what's your favorite video game?
Gosh. Right now?
Yeah,
probably,
right now.
I don't really play much right now, but probably 2K.
Okay, well, my son's his favorite right now is football Madden. Of course he likes Madden, but he likes playing Fortnite all the time. So he likes the sports games too. So, young man, we got to finish this interview with your dad, but make sure you keep your grades up, man. Okay, that's very important, and make sure you listen to your dad because your dad is Your dad is supposed to be your hero, and no one else is supposed to be a hero but your dad. And he has a cool beard.
You hear that?
Nice meeting you, mate. Nice meeting you, Max.
You
And
too.
also, hold on for a second, Max. Max got more hair than I did. It's very disappointing, Max. You got more hair than I did.
Hell yeah, he got on the barber for not cutting it
I
too
don't
short.
want to hear about the barber. I don't have dreams about going to the barber anymore. Adam, so thank you.
I'm
Thank you for
sorry,
reminding
man.
me. It's okay. Hey, Max. Hey, nice meeting you, Max. Hey, go to bed. Go to bed, young man.
I got it.
You just told him to go to bed, too, man.
And he's taller than 5 foot, Dad.
Yeah, he was giving me some really, really bad mojo behind this camera when I said that.
Hey man, I saw that. He was probably like, oh man, I'm taller than 5 foot. Go to bed, young man. We go to bed.
I'll tell you what, man. You've got a lot of kids yourself, don't you, Houston?
Yeah, man. I got a lot of grown kids, and I got a lot of young kids, but I'm trying to sell them all. No one realizes I got some athletes I'm trying to sell. So you can visit me on any of my social media sites, and if you want some athletes, they're for sale.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're pretty involved in the athletics around here. I would love for you to send us 2.
Well, I don't want to say, hey, I don't want to hear that. You did play football.
Yeah, I know. And I'm taking heat for it. But did you ever watch the movie The Program? It came out in the early 90s.
The Program, it sounds familiar. What was that about?
It was a college football movie. I want to say that Andrew Benarski, Omar Epps, it was awesome, man. And there was a guy that Latimer, he was played by Andrew Benarski. He went on to play Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw remake. And it was just, it's the best college, I didn't play football, but watching that movie in high school, I almost went out my senior year just by watching that movie, and I couldn't have done anything.
Almost.
Almost. That's as close as it got.
Almost. So it's okay, brother. That's okay.
And hey, listen, we got another similarity. Like I talked to you a little bit. You were an operator over an asphalt.
Yeah, I did asphalt. I did asphalt for 10 years, and people always ask me, "Hey, what's harder, asphalt or fighting?" What do you think I said?
Asphalt.
Asphalt. It's 100 degrees in the summertime. It's 400 degrees on the machine, and it's like and the asphalt itself is 400 to 500 degrees. It was very miserable. But you know what? Asphalt made me tough to where fighting was nothing.
Well, people don't realize it. Like when you pass someone on the highway and it's 100 degrees and you're on that piece of equipment, it's double that. I mean, it is pure.
Yeah, because the equipment is like 100 degrees itself. So yeah. You said that. Yeah, that's crazy.
So did you have thoughts of getting? I mean, was you wrestling or before, or did you?
Man, you know what? My uncle was wrestling coach for over 40 years, and he's matter of fact, he's about to get inducted to the Hall of Fame here this summer. But
well, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. I wrestled, I boxed a little bit when I was growing up, and I was always a tough kid because I never let anybody bully me, and brother, I was just a tough kid, and that translated into what I do now because mentally I was tough, physically I was tough, and then now we're talking.
Yeah, well,
that's all it is.
When I go back and I was studying your career and everything, you had lost your first fight. And I admired the next thing because most people that lose that first fight, they just hang it up. That's it. You went on a win streak, dude. I think you rattled off 6 straight wins right after that one loss. And
Adam, here's the thing though. Officially, the public saw 6 wins, but I've had over 200 fights.
Oh, really? Was they sanctioned?
Yeah, so unofficial before the YouTube, before they had the phones. I've had over 200 fights, man. We would go out every week and fight in Des Moines, Iowa. We fought all over the Midwest. We fought in different areas, man. And I fought 5 times in one night.
Good
before.
grief.
So, brother, I'm telling you, the old school, that's why when you made it to the UFC, you had appreciation of being there and up there in that pedestal because they made you earn it. And now it just seems like everyone says I'm a UFC fighter, and then and then I can scratch my balls and say I'm a UFC fighter, but back then it meant something.
Yes, you paid your dues, like you said. I mean, fighting.
Well, I'm not saying that the guys are not paying their dues now, but
It's a
I'm just
different
saying
time.
back then. But maybe I'm saying this: it was harder to get into a UFC back then.
Exposure.
It was way harder.
Yeah. I mean, you had to make
outside
noise.
Of steroids. Outside of steroids.
Well, I can definitely see that also. But the exposure, I mean, you were making a name for yourself, and this was kind of before the YouTube and the social media and stuff. So it was basically word of mouth. This dude's tough, and I mean,
doing the word of mouth. I think when word of mouth is very powerful because if you got people talking about you, that's a lot. That's a lot more powerful than watching a YouTube clip.
Yes, and I'm so glad you said that, dude. Over 200 fights. I mean, fighting 5 times in one night. That's the old school way. I mean,
that's crazy, and again, boom, knock them out. Boom, knock them out. And people don't realize that if they ever released old footage of me back then, I broke ring boards, slamming people so hard on the ground. I broke the ring in Des Moines, Iowa, one time before, but when they had to stop the fights because I broke the boards in the ring.
Do you ever sit back and think, I mean, obviously you just kind of put that out there, but do you ever look back and say, man, starting out, that meant something because the roots of how your career began, fighting so much to finally, I mean, you made your debut, Houston. I mean, I was wanting to set the stage on here, but like you said, we're just talking. I mean,
we're just talking, man. I think that's a little bit more natural than being interviewed.
Yes, a conversation. That's what I always say about my episode. I like having a conversation, not an interview, a conversation.
Yes, sir.
But Keith Jardine, let's just say Keith Jardine was he was off the heels of beating Chuck Liddell. I mean, he was a top competitor, and he run. I mean, obviously he's a respectful guy. He's probably not underestimating. But Houston Alexander has his debut on UFC. It's in Vegas, May 26, 2007. And it is one of the most impressive.
It was on television. I think that's the first time I ever seen was on television.
I mean, I can remember where I was at, who I was with. We were watching it on a box TV, a big one. But we were inside a trailer. We had about 10 people there.
The old school TVs that were really thick.
Yes, that one. And Jardine, like I said, he was off the heels of Liddell. If he wins this one, he's probably getting a title shot.
Yes, sir.
DMX hits What's My Name? I rewind back. Mike Tyson used that when he came out against Lennox Lewis when I was in high school, and I was like, "Man, that's a bad jam. This dude means business." Well,
so bad. When I heard you ask me, what would with the coming out song, I used to come out to DMX all the time. That was one of that and Bodies to the Floor.
Bodies hit the floor, drowning pool. Yep.
Bodies hit the floor. I used to come out to that or that before I settled, for some of the stuff that I've come out to now.
Well, I'm telling you, when that hit, I knew that Jardine was just the feel of your entrance. It had me, man, the look, the menacing look. Everybody that's my brother, we grew up watching UFC. I mean, we watched them from the time we were from UFC 2. And I'll never forget.
And my coach was at UFC 2 with Jenum.
Steve Jenum
from Omaha. Steve Jenum won from Omaha as an alternate.
UFC 3 beat Harold Howard in the finals.
So again, there's been a tradition from Nebraskans doing a thing, but Steve, Joe Bodler was there, who trained Steve, and they were cops.
Yeah, Jenum was a cop. He was an alternate, came in at 3 and was a tough dude. I mean, you could read it on him. He had that crew cut. I mean, he was a tough dude.
Every cop back in the 90s had a crew cut.
90, exactly. He had the 90s cop look.
Every cop in the 90s had a crew cut.
I can look at him and see a state trooper outfit on if that haircut and everything right now.
Someone told me the other day. There was a cop I saw on YouTube. He said, "Take your shades off. Look the person you're pulling over in the eye."
I'm telling you, that was it. That's it. He had to be a state trooper. He had the look. I mean, he looked just like a 1992 Kentucky state trooper driving an old Crown Vic around.
That's funny, man. That's funny. But yeah, I think he was a detective.
So Jenham was a detective?
I think so. I think he was a detective.
That's a pretty cool piece of information, man. Not a lot of people know, probably.
Yeah, but again, I hear all these stories, and it's just we just conversating, having all these cool stories about the early UFC days when they didn't have weight classes, but now and again, I appreciate where UFC is right now, but it just seems like with over however many employees they got, it's not the same. It just seems like back then it was a privilege to be in the UFC. Right now, it's just you're just a roster.
It's almost, dude, and I've said it. It's almost like it's so watered down now. Not to take anything away from the fighters.
No, it's not watered down because they wanted it to be mainstream. They wanted to have coverage, and it's good what they're doing right now. But the fact that back then, it was a privilege to be in the UFC. Right now, it's just a roster.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that era was, and like I said, I had Art Jimerson on a few weeks ago. He was from UFC 1. He fought Hoist Gracie. He had the one boxing glove. Such a sweet dude, man. If you ever get a chance, check out Art. Great guy. But we were talking about how he got involved.
Adam, you can't call a guy sweet.
I know, man. That's so.
He's such a nice guy.
Yeah. Art would probably take.
Don't call him. You can't call him sweet.
Well, I wish
when you call him sweet, Adam, I think of licorice.
Art Jimerson plus licorice. You're right. I needed to be called.
Hey, man, you're 6'2". Stop calling people licorice, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Art Jimerson, I apologize. He's one tough dude, and let me tell you something. He fought Hoist Gracie that night.
Don't call him. Hey, Adam, don't call him licorice. We're not trying to do that. We're not trying to call you licorice, okay?
I know. I'll never live that one down. But we're back to the night when you were fighting Keith Jardine.
Yeah.
That performance is one of the most brutal debuts I have ever seen in my life. I mean,
oh, really? A lot of people beg to differ. This, they say other people have gotten better debuts, but I thought it's pretty high up there.
Well, I'm going to quote my brother at the end of the night after Rampage knocked out Chuck and everybody was shocked and they were sitting around the house.
You were there. Everyone had that, and it's kind of cool to hear everyone's moment when that shit happened, Adam. So this is your moment when it happened. What did your brother say?
I don't give a F who knocked who out. They wouldn't know mother effer beating at Houston Alexander tonight. That was his quote. He said he would have beat Chuck and Rampage at the same time. That was the everybody's like, man, I can't believe Chuck took that on the jump. He dropped, and I can't believe that.
Yeah.
And then Rocky says, it don't even matter. They couldn't either one have got together and beat that mother effing Houston Alexander. You just got to know my brother. But after that night, you fought Alessio Sakara, and I can remember you being in attendance, in between the pay-per-views, and it's showing you, and everybody's like, light heavyweight prospect Houston Alexander, and you were in the crowd.
But again, it was great. But but to understand this, without being on that national scale like that, they try to throw everyone at the kitchen sink at me. And then after those few fights, you would think, hey, let's get this guy a few easy fights.
Yes.
No, Adam, they threw everybody at me.
Oh, I know. Alessio Sakara.
They didn't care. They threw everybody at me. I was like, whatever. To me and my mentality, I don't care who you put in front of me.
Right.
But at the same time, I was still developing.
Yes.
As a national fighter. I was beating everybody's asses on local scale.
Yeah.
But I had to adjust to doing the international fighting, and that's and that's what I need all the young people to know that that's a whole different ball
Yes.
game. You can fight, and it's like boxing. You can fight locally, you can fight regionally, and then you can fight nationally. So and I think I went from fighting locally to fighting internationally like really quick. So I had to learn how to fight internationally, Adam.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it, Houston too, is it's a whole, I mean, it was taken off. The UFC was taken off big time right there. So basically, I mean, you're having to deal with the media. You're having to deal. It's not like we're going to go fight.
Well, and it was an excuse because I was already set for that because I was already doing radio. I was already doing that stuff already, so I knew how to handle that. But the fact that when you got different coaches that are all trying to show you different things all at the same time, and you're trying to remember all this stuff, then you're not fighting. See, because to me, fighting is very emotional and fighting is very aggressive and instinctive. When you're being taught stuff and you're trying to have to learn all this stuff and you're not reacting like you were previously because you were just reacting off of instinct, that's what happens. You lose your instinct, and so I think I lost a little bit of the instinct. As the coaches taught me what supposedly fighting was about.
Yeah. Well, you fought Alessio Sakara next, and he was another top contender. I mean, he was a journeyman.
That was still me being raw and instinctive.
Mm-hmm.
And that was still, I was being taught, but you still had the pit bull, still going after the guys. So now as the years went on, they tried to tame the pit bull. The pit bull's already fighting already, but when you try to tame the pit bull by showing them different moves and hey, let's learn this and learn it, it's not instinctive anymore.
Sometimes you can almost try to teach somebody when something's working and you're still trying to cram a lot into them. Sometimes you start overthink. I mean, when something's working.
So again, when you teach your kids, you don't have just a certain move. If you're good at something, just stick to it.
Yes, I couldn't agree more.
That's it.
But I mean, heck, like I said, man, you were right in the middle of in between Alessio, I think, and Jardine, man. You were being pumped. Like I remember Rogan putting you over out in the crowd, man. And you, like you said, they should have brought you along because you had drawing power, number one.
Yeah.
You're off one of the most brutal debuts. I mean, it was violent. It was what everybody wanted to see. I mean, you had two wins like that.
It was fighting. It was fighting.
And that's what, I mean, I ain't gonna say a smart promoter, but if you see somebody like that.
But again, Adam, that they thought that I could handle that stuff because again, they didn't just ease me along. They just sent everybody after me. So you can't blame the UFC when they thought this is what they had, and nothing wrong with that because that's what they had. But developing the fighter, just like in boxing, is a good thing. So boxing, they don't send all the contenders at the boxer right away. He has to work his resume up. And me fighting on a national scale, I have to work my resume up, man. And I don't think they thought about that.
Well, they can do what they want. They can say what they want. Even though you fell short on a few victories there, you ended up beating Terry Sokaju later on down the road, who I considered one of the top prospects.
Sokaju was very. There's a lot of guys that I beat, and a lot of guys that I lost to that are shown like none of these. Adam, just put it this way. I'll leave it at that, and we can stop talking about these old guys. I physically thought I could beat anybody in front of me, and I physically was able to do so because I thought I was physically better than any of these guys because I was in better shape and I was physically stronger than any of these guys. But when you have the combination of physical and mental has to be there. So if all the young people that are out there listening to us right now, the physical and mental needs to be a balance there. And when the cliche when they say that it's 80% mental and 20% physical. That's true, because you have to learn how to manage your time, but at the same time, be violent. Fighting is violence, and I hold no qualms with being violent.
Yeah.
I'm a violent. And when you're in the ring with somebody, you want to be violent. Period. The other is instinct. So, violence. If you're in the ring, be violent.
You know, that's funny. When I got in, when I decided I was going to fight, you know, I'm the youngest of three brothers. Like,
Yeah.
my two older brothers was like notoriously tough guys around, but I was the baby, and I never got into street fights.
They was probably vying with you.
Never. Well, I watched them hit.
Or they baby. That's true. That's two sides of that coin.
Yeah.
Since you was the baby, they babies you.
Well, my dad, when I first told him, you know, I was like, I've wanted to do this forever. I mean, if I don't do it, I'm gonna look back and regret it. So I'm gonna fight. And he's like, Bud, you ain't got the killer instinct.
That killer. Yeah, your dad's a smart guy.
Well,
you gotta have, that's what I'm saying. Being violent, you have to have that killer, Adam.
Well, after my first fight, it ended in 27 seconds, and he's like, "I didn't know. I figured you'd get in there and take it easy. I didn't." I won my first one in 27 seconds, and then my second one in 12 seconds. And he's like, "I was like, Dad, it's different. I'm a good dude, and I love to laugh and cut up, but I want to compete. I want to test myself. You know, my grandfather was a boxer, so it's in the blood."
Wow. So yeah, you guys have a tradition of doing any type of physical activity.
Yeah, my brothers, if they would have took up MMA or boxing or anything, they were such good athletes. They had a lot. Their switch was easier flip than mine. So it was more competition for me. I wanted to box, and then I got into boxing after MMA until I hurt my shoulder. And then you know what I did next? Houston Alexander.
What's that?
Got into professional wrestling.
Hey, well, a friend of mine does professional wrestling, and that's very physical.
Yes.
So as scripted as things seem to be, pro wrestling is very, very physical. A friend of mine who I was a co-host with on a radio show, he did wrestling on the side. He was probably one of the premier wrestlers in Nebraska. Yeah. It's a very physical thing, man. So, a lot of those guys, physically break down because of how the physicality of wrestling.
A lot of them develop pain pill addictions, man, too. And people don't realize it. Back in the 80s and 90s, the guys didn't get paid. Like 70s and 80s, they didn't get guaranteed payday. So if you didn't work, you didn't get paid. And in the 90s, a lot of the guys that I looked up to, like Ravishing Rick Rude, Brian Pillman, these guys were early. And everybody's like, oh, they just want to.
Of course, my guy was Macho Man. Macho Man Randy Savage, man.
He was, his brother, Leaping Lanny Poffo, just passed away a couple of weeks ago.
That was his brother?
Yeah, Lanny and Randy, their father was Angelo Poffo, and they ran ICW around here. It was an outlaw organization. And Lanny was a sweet.
I didn't know that.
I was getting ready to say Lanny was a sweet dude. Lord rest his soul. Lanny was a tough dude, but he had a nice side.
Sweet.
No, he came into the ring.
They don't sound too tough, brother. They don't sound too tough.
I know. It's a good thing I'm a baby face and not a heel.
And you got a Kentucky accent, so yeah, the sweet does not sound good when you with a Kentuckian accent.
I'm really digging myself a hole here, guys.
like the Undertaker,
buried alive. Yeah, rest in peace.
The Undertaker reference.
Dan Severn. I went and done a seminar with Dan Severn and Mark Coleman. Took my little boy, and I thought that we were going to be I thought that we wouldn't even get to the cage. I thought that there would be a million people there, and we were the only two. So we got to spend 2 hours in the ring with Mark Coleman in the octagon. It was a cage actually with Mark Coleman and Severn. And Severn brought his UFC titles and his NWA professional wrestling title.
Yeah.
And I got to know Dan pretty good recently over the last
Dan's a big guy.
And he told me, he said, Adam, I bring this wrestling belt, this professional wrestling belt here to tell everybody that I got hurt far worse with this fake belt than I ever did fighting with these real belts. He said my injuries, you know, because he got dumped on his head by Owen Hart like Stone Cold
Yeah.
did. And
Hey man, the people think that the wrestling is scripted, of course, but the fact that you still have to physically go out there, Adam.
yes, absolutely, dude. And I mean, it's the punishment. I didn't do it nearly as much as these other guys, but like after one night, like after a Saturday night, you go 25 minutes and you're bumping all over the place out of the ring. And those boards, you know, you talk about slamming somebody and busting boards in one of your fights. That's basically the ring. I mean,
the board inside the ring. Seriously,
man, I tell you, it's not like a trampoline. I mean,
no.
I fought in a cage and I have wrestled in a ring, and the give on both of them were about the same, really.
Well, brother, you are now you're entering the world of professional wrestling, so you kind of understand a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you have to, and it's psychology. A lot of it's thinking. You got to take care of each other, trust each other. It's different, but it's fun.
There's and I forgot what channel it was. They're just showing a lot of the old wrestlers talking about their careers, and I really appreciate how they started. You know, some played football, some played hockey, some that did this, and I appreciate how they guys started in their pursuit to being bigger and better than what they are. So yeah, you know, shouts out to all the WWE wrestlers, man, because again, even though it's scripted, you still gotta physically go out there and fly like Jimmy Fly's Super Snooker.
Hey, let me ask you something. You've had a heck of a run with this bare knuckle fight, dude. I mean, it's almost like it's tailor made for you.
Adam, this shit is easy to me.
I mean, I watched some of your fights, and it was, I mean, your jab, dude, looked sick. And the one I just watched, your jab was so stiff that it looked like you could have knocked the dude out with just a stiff jab. And
my jab was a penis in a porno, very stiff.
I'm done on that one. Done. I throw the towel in.
All right, let me issue myself a flag on play for that one.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, but hey, man, them jabs, the jabs are the intro to what we're trying to get accomplished.
Yes.
And so, no, hey, if you can't handle that jab, you can't handle the other shit. But the bare knuckle boxing, and shouts out to the bare knuckle fighting championship has been it's been fun, man. Adam, that's all it's been to me. It's been fun. I'm not, and I'm not worried too much about winning or losses, but my goal is to go in and win. But don't let the old guy be in better shape than you young guys, because you're gonna get your ass whooped.
The old dog still got a lot of fight in him for sure.
And I'm gonna hit you with the jab to start it off. So you just better watch it.
I'm telling you, like he said, his jab is like that of a genital in a adult film. So, so you better watch out for that. I'm gonna tell you another thing.
Adam, on Viagra. I said they don't want that. They don't want the Viagra punch.
The Viagra punch. So the jab. Would you consider that your cross or that knee you bring up? That stiff knee.
Man, they don't want that. So
no, they don't. And you did a lot of cool. I mean, we could sit here, we could talk your fight career, man, and and that's cool. You've got a really cool career. You've been blessed.
I've been very Adam. I've been very lucky. When I say I've been lucky, with the hard work, it puts you in lucky positions.
But the thing that really, as a dad to dad deal, I know that you're a great dad, and the thing,
I'm halfway decent.
Well, you gave you donated your kidney to your daughter, and didn't you?
Yeah.
That was, man, that's the world title right there. I mean, to be
because when Adam, if your son needed a kidney, would you give it to him?
If my son needed my arm, dude, I would give him my heart.
No question asked. I saw John Q a couple of days ago.
One of the best movies ever.
You ever see John Q?
It's one of the best movies ever.
Denzel was hey, he was about to take his life just to give his son a heart.
And that's a dad.
That's what you do to your kid for your kids. You do some John Q shit.
You know, that movie is one of the that makes me almost cry every time I watch it.
Yeah, man, because Adam, we're real dads. And
So you don't think you're not going to call me
sacrifice.
weak or anything over that one?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, and if anybody call us weak for being emotional about that movie, because the fact that we will do anything for our kids. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line.
And I mean, you seen him. You know, I'm thankful that you got to see him. But that's my life, dude. I take him, like, he's involved in boxing. We go down to Louisville to Top Notch Boxing. I take him. We do a lot of stuff together, and I thank God every second I get with him. So that's, I mean.
So and one thing about Adam as well is never force your kids to do sports.
Right. Yeah. And
we can't be the goofy parents trying to live through our kids through sports.
And let me tell you, it is bad.
They have to want to do it on their own.
It is bad. And when he was about 3 years younger, I noticed myself get kind of rougher on him about, you need to go to this basketball camp. You need to do this. And it was, he was getting to where he just didn't enjoy it. And I took a step back and I said, I do not want to be like a lot of those around here.
Dad, you gotta step back, Dad. You gotta step back.
That's a fact. And let me tell you something. You see it now around here in this particular place, man. You see it bad here.
Hey, like I told you, you didn't play football in Kentucky. You were don't hide your face. Anyway, hey, when you got people shooting other parents, other coaches at football games, that's when you know that parents are trying to they're trying to run hoop dreams through their kids.
I mean,
all you parents out there trying to run hoop dreams through your kids, just stop it. Okay, just because you didn't make it doesn't mean you gotta force your kids to make it.
And I mean, it's going to absolutely warp children. You're going to waste time and energy instead of spending positive time. All you're doing is making them miserable.
Adam, we're going to give those parents who force their kids to play any type of sports. We're going to issue you a flag on the play, parents. Shame on you.
Yes. And I mean, we could do a whole show on that alone, honestly.
Yeah, on that alone, for real.
Now, Houston, you've got the Houston Alexander Foundation going, but I'm not going to keep you on here much longer. But explain us.
Because we only got a few minutes there. Only got 15 seconds of power left on the Samsung. But yeah, the Houston Alexander Foundation, we're going to the schools and teach the kids about hip hop culture. We train people. I train people for free who are either young people or older folks who don't know how to train. So, that's a lot of things we're doing to the foundation to help out people in our community. And I've been helping people in my community since I was 13 years old. But now we got things that are official. It's it's now. It's dealing with the now. Everybody talks about doing stuff for the community, but Adam, they be bullshitting. And I'm not one to bullshit.
Right, that's a fact.
Period.
I mean, was you giving out bicycles at the school the other day or something?
Every school that we go to, Adam, we give out a bicycle to a young man or a young lady who's been exceptional with the attendance or the grades or whatever. Where and that, to me, the thing behind that is, before we even start our program, we give the bikes away. So you could be that kid out there going, man, if I would have been on top of my game, I could have got that bike.
Yeah.
So we just try to stay on top of our game, man.
Man, that is awesome. And like I said, I had no clue you were.
But hold up, let me reiterate. Something awesome about doing stuff we supposed to be doing as adults. We have to do this as adults because we set the precedent for the next generation.
Facts.
Period.
They've got. I mean,
if you had a fucked up beard, guess what? You don't want to show your son a fucked up beard.
Yeah.
You want to show your son how to shape his beard.
What do you think about my beard? Be honest.
Your beard is 100, brother. I'm gonna give you a thumbs up. So that's why if your beard was offset, like the rap group, we can't
Would there have been a whistle blown on that?
But your son has a beard role model right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, I appreciate that. You know, I've done a lot of
Where's
wrong.
your wife? Where's your wife?
My wife is upstairs, probably trying to stay away from me, to be honest.
All right, well, call your wife downstairs. But we gotta give props to your wife for allowing us to do this, because I know you do. I know you do this all the time, but we don't give props to our spouse.
I'm gonna tell you something, Houston. I do for my wife. I give her own Friday. Her name is Lindsay. So every Friday on Lindsay Friday, I make a post on Facebook and post a pretty picture of her and thank her for something. She's a really good woman. She is a heck of a mother, like the greatest mother you can imagine. She does a lot for the community. We're
gonna humanize. Call your wife down.
Okay, hold on one second.
Please call your wife down. I would love to meet your wife while we're podcasting, because again, we're showing people right now, podcasting is not about questions and crap.
Hey, come
it's about
because you're needed. Hurry, run.
Your wife is like, is she coming down?
Yeah, she thinks something's wrong. I had to get her down.
I tell you what, we don't want no problems. All I'm gonna do is just is let her know, and that women are the backbone of our families, and again, we appreciate what she does, man.
And like I said,
us doing what we're doing right now, it takes someone like that to do it.
She does a lot too, man. Like she's helped she's been cheerleading coach. She's done a lot of good things, but she's a great wife.
So is she an athlete? Is she an athlete like yourself?
Yeah, she can hit hard. She's pretty good with her hands. She was a cheerleader in high school. Come here, real fast, hurry. You're gonna get me whipped by Houston Alexander. Get over here.
No, we're not. No, we're not getting paid. You're not gonna get me in trouble.
She was there the night of the Keith Jardine deal.
Okay. Well, sweetheart, how are you, sweetheart?
How are you? I'm good.
I was saying now we were just talking about you in a non bad way. I told your husband, I said the reason why we're doing this right now, the podcast, is because you are allowing it.
Yeah, I was in bed.
All right, what's right? Hey, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to meet you. And doing this podcast stuff, we're just trying to show these people, hey, we're just conversating and we're just ordinary people.
And so, like I was telling her, he does so much for the schools around where he lives, man. He's got his own.
Your son's a great kid.
Oh, thank you.
And look at your husband real quick. Does your husband have a perfect beard?
Sometimes.
I have a perfect beard.
What do you mean sometimes? What those the beard?
When he puts the oil in it and combs it good.
Okay, well, hey, comb your beard, Adam. Comb your.
I carry a beard comb with me here. It's usually around.
Your wife is on your podcast telling you to comb your beard.
Yeah, I know. When he puts the oil in it, that sounds like Buffalo Bill.
Okay, I don't put oil in my goatee, but hold on, you got the silky oil for your silky beard. Thank you for exposing your husband who's calling everybody that is a man sweet on his podcast. Thank you.
I've really dug myself a hole on this one.
He's the soft.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So nice meeting you. Your husband got some explaining to do to all the guys he calls sweet. Hey, go back. We didn't mean to disturb you. Go back to bed. But hold on. Last question: Eagles or the Chiefs?
Oh, you're probably not gonna like my answer to this.
No.
I'm just ready for the halftime show. I don't
What?
care.
You said what?
I said I don't really care. I'm just there for the
Oh, well,
halftime show.
you know what? Hey, swear, hey, that does not matter to me because if you don't say anything, as a baseball coach, as long as you have a great baseball team, we'll be cool. Who's your baseball team as a baseball coach?
She's going to go with the Cincinnati Reds, I would say.
Okay, no, stop it. That ain't what she said. Who are you going with? Baseball team.
I don't really watch Major League Baseball either.
Oh, well, you know what? Well, you know what, sweetheart? Before you go to bed, before you go lay it down, I'm gonna do the same thing I gave your husband. Flag on the play. I'm gonna give you a go lay down. Go lay down.
I figured she would have said the Yankees.
Oh. Hey, swear, have a good night.
It was nice to meet you, though, and thank you
Very,
for
very
everything you do for the schools in your area. That's awesome, and I'm sure it's very greatly appreciated by the kids and the teachers and the principals and everybody involved. Just want to thank you for doing that.
All right, Adam, I just got props from your wife. Thank you, sweetheart.
She's basically wanting you to bring it to Eastern Kentucky too, to her school.
She wants you to put juices and berries in your beard.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think I'm more orange. I think I use the orange peelings.
Okay. But he put a little citrus in your beard. Put a little
citrus shampoo. That's it. All right, Houston. Before we let you off here, because you've got what 8% on your Samsung at the moment, probably.
I got my 8%. Yeah.
Okay, right we're going to go a few fast questions. Putting you on the spot now. Houston Alexander, what's your favorite food?
Oh man, fettuccine. Chicken Alfredo.
My little boy would have given the touchdown for that instead of he loves Alfredo.
There we go. There, gotta have that.
Favorite musician?
Oh man, my favorite musician. The Isley Brothers.
Ooh, Between the Sheets.
All right, Isley Brothers, brother.
Contagious. Oh, I love that song when I was in high school.
Oh, you know about Contagious? Hold up.
What the hell is going on between the sheets of my home?
You're right. Your beard is real silky right now, Adam. Silky.
I noticed it. Just
hey, give me the other questions, man. Let's go.
All right. Favorite movie?
Oh man, favorite movie that I can watch all. Oh, man, that's a tough one.
Don't compare it to your jab either.
It's not. All right. Coming to America.
Love Coming to America. Classic.
She's your queen to be. Yeah, there we go.
Eddie Murphy and Arsenio did amazing there. All right, who would play you in your biopic?
Oh man, Common.
Common?
The rapper Common.
Yeah.
We look alike.
You're looking like Ice-T right now.
Hey, play me in my biopic, Common, but you got a lot of training to do because I do a lot of training.
You make me think of Ice-T in Surviving the Game.
Hey man, this is Ice-T. Hey man, Ice-T. We ready, Ice-T. Right? Hey, somebody say like Ice-T. Shout out to Ice-T. I met Ice-T a couple times. Ice-T. Shouts out to Ice-T and Coco.
Oh gosh, don't even get me going there. I'm turning into your jab. Mount Rushmore of MMA.
What else you got for me, Adam?
Who would be on your Mount Rushmore of MMA?
Oh man,
your favorites. Your favorites. They don't have to be the best. Just the guys.
You know, my favorites in MMA right now. Magomedov.
Ooh, Melvin, man.
He's up there. He's up there 100% because he respects his opponent and he fights through religion. So yeah, there's no powerful man that puts God above him.
Amen.
That's that. He's first and foremost. Who else? I'm a big a GSP fan. So my Mount Rushmore is pretty high up there.
Yeah.
John Jones is up there, minus the steroids.
Yeah.
And who else is up there?
So we've got Melvin Manhoef.
You know, and I have to say, the Punisher,
The Punisher.
the first ever MMA star in MMA with the UFC. Who you think that was?
Tito.
Tito. See, this is how I know you know what you're talking about. Tito was the first star in MMA that got the recognition, they got the sponsorship. Hey, Tito, shouts out to Tito. You know, he inspired a lot of people to be where they are today. And I don't think Tito gets as much respected that he deserves because of some of his views on shit. But Tito was one of the first MMA stars that had me going, wow, I want to be that guy.
He knew how to brand himself. Also, he knew how,
but
he was a
branding
good
himself
business.
is still cool. But when you fight and know how to
Market yourself.
fight, you brand yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, who did I like that were just fucking tough as nails? That I was a big fan of the guy that knocked Bisping out.
Dan Henderson, one of my favorites.
Henderson, Hendo.
The H bomb.
No, it was no joke. When he hit you with that overhand, Hendo was no joke. So you know that's my top 5, guys.
Hey, that's a heck of a one, dude. Hey, listen,
Hey,
I'm
that's
a massive
top 5, huh?
Yeah, it is. I mean, John Jones.
There's no joke in that top 5. Hey, I challenge anybody to challenge that. John Jones, Hendo, your GSP, man. Hey, Michael Mayoff, man. Come on, man. I got a good top 5.
Yeah, that it don't get no better.
And as an alternate to my top 5, your
Steve
beard.
Jenham.
Your beard.
My beard. All right. I thought you was gonna take Steve Jenham and his haircut.
Steve is no Steve won it to a UFC 3, but your beard has won me over.
Well, hey, listen, we got one more question for you. Besides,
hit me.
Dream fight. Who would you have liked to have fight, and at what weight? Give me the specific. If they would have called you and said, "All right, Houston, we're going to give you a shot at the light heavyweight title," who would you have liked to have fought in that moment?
Oh man, I would love that. I fought John Jones.
Jones would have been a tough one. Hey, listen, I would have liked to have seen you and Chuck Liddell.
But here, Adam, I'm going to tell you a story.
Here we go.
I've never told to anyone.
Are you joking right
now? John knows this story. We were at the UFC facility. John and I went 5 rounds. We sparred for 5 rounds, and John couldn't do all the extra stuff that he was doing to other people. I cut John across his eye. And John will tell you. You can interview John today, he'll tell you that I was the only guy I know during a sparring match that cut him. So that would be my dream fight. Shouts out to John Jones. So but he know what it is.
John Jones, Houston Alexander, man, would have been a barn.
And guess what? His homeboy was filming. So if that footage ever got released, well, which it probably never will get released because that guy had a VHS tape. Oh. Guess what? It'll never get released because they already know. I cut John, and every time I see John, he was like, "Oh, he'll remind me how much I cut."
Hey, listen, that would have been a good one. I would have loved to see you and Liddell in 07. I think that would have been
again, styles make fights, and I was a lot smaller than a lot of those guys, but a lot of those guys are not at the ground level that I was, so that they would have been in real big trouble.
Yes, and you proved that over and over, and you've got your hands in so much. Your phone is going dead. We got to get you a new battery for that thing. As soon as I go pick up some beard oil,
it's been going all day, big dog. It's been going all day.
I'm gonna pick up some
matter of
beard
fact,
oil.
Hey, matter of fact, take a screenshot of us right now and then you send it to me.
So take a picture and send it to you.
No, we did a screenshot.
How do I do that on a computer?
Man, hey, this is your podcast.
Hold on 1 second. I believe I can do this. If you give me 1 second here.
One second. So you cut the light off to your beard.
I know we got to get that. I look like George Michael in one of these lights. You remember him at some father figure?
Did you just say you looked like George Michael?
He was sweet.
Hey, no, he was sweet. Oh, George Michael was sweet. George Michael was my favorite artist too. So,
the Faith album was probably.
Oh man, come on! Hey, I met George Michael in Omaha at the Westroads Mall.
Seriously?
Yes. Well, when they had the 2 earrings, as being a young man, we never saw a guy with 2 earrings in his ear. He was the first one to do it.
George Michael. What's your favorite George Michael song?
If my best isn't good enough, so how will I be good enough for 2?
Man, you going way back with it. I'm gonna say
do 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 da 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 da. Somebody tell me. I forgot that. How I work so hard for you. Give me money. Just give me money. That song.
Man, that was a good one too. I like Too Funky, baby, baby. Why do you do this to me? I got to know.
You know, we're 2 sensitive grown men who box.
That's it.
Talking about George Michael. This is all your fault because of your silky, fruity beard.
Your girlfriend's gonna kick you out of bed tonight, son.
I want no problems. All right, hey, hands up. Don't shoot.
Listen, Houston, thank you so much for being on.
Hands up, don't shoot.
Thank you so much for being on. I appreciate it, dude. I feel like I've aggravated you to death, but can't thank you enough.
No, it didn't aggravate me because if you would have aggravated me, I would have been off the show.
Well, I'm sorry. Listen.
Your wife said you have a silky beard, so I'm going to go off what she said.
Well, I got some killer chest hair too, so I mean.
And you got the bacon collar, Adam. Your collar is bacon.
What's that mean?
That means it's not tight on your neck. It's like sagging. It's like the bacon collar. So
is that good or bad?
If you Google just Google bacon collar. You know what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Google bacon collar, and you'll see the guys with bacon collars. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's immediate. As soon as I upload this, I'm going to do that right now.
Hold up, Adam. Your fade is tight, though. The fade is tight.
Shout out to Derek Harris at Studio 23. He hooked me up yesterday, man.
Derek, you know about the fade. The fade. No, turn it. Come on, one more time to the side. Boom. The fade tight. The fade.
It's actually called this is the bald fade.
Oh, the fade. No, the fade is tight. Shouts out to your barber for getting you nice.
Oh, he took care of me, man. He's one of the best around. He
faded you up. He faded you up. Not too many people can fade the hair like that. Boom. He got you.
So no party or no foul on that one.
No foul. Hey, no foul for Derek. Shouts out to you, buddy.
Hey, listen, I'm going to aggravate you again. We're going to do this on down the road. You're going to let me know how.
Sure, but hey, let's have this conversation later on, brother.
Sounds good. Houston,
you go. Let's do it after the next or before the next bare knuckle fight.
Yes, let's do that.
So let's do that.
Okay, then. Before the next bare knuckle fight, we're going to sit down, have a good talk, and just chill out and have a conversation like we did tonight.
You figure out how to screenshot us so we know.
Yes, I'm going to send it to you immediately.
All right, cool. Because we got to give you shouts out to your show, man. Because again, from now on, have conversations, not questions.
Exactly. I'm a firm believer in a sit down, not a questionnaire. I like a good conversation. And I sent you a friend request on Facebook. I tagged. Do I look like Andre Arlovsky a little bit just from here?
No, you don't. No. He's pretty tall, just like you are. But nah, I think your beard is cooler.
Really?
Yeah, you look like you about to. You look like a Russian dictator.
I call my friend a Turkish dictator. But
Well,
Russian
you
sounds
look like
cool.
a Russian
A Russian what?
Hey, Adam, what is your ethnic background? What's your ethnic background?
What's in the background?
Well, no, what's your ethnic background?
Caucasian.
No, Caucasian is not ethnic background. What have you done? Not did your 23andMe?
I want to say, are you talking about my ancestries or ancestors?
Yeah. Ethnic background. Yeah.
I want to say Irish and German, maybe.
Okay. A lot of people don't know that the Germans were the first people to migrate to the United States in droves, because in Nebraska, we have the most Germans per capita in the state of Nebraska because they migrated over here.
I never knew that, man.
Yeah, well, that's a small fact. And and I'm 60% Congolese from Africa, but we had Irish in our family. The Irish was having sex with everybody.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir, they
Sounds
were.
like-
Well, I got Irish in my family too, brother.
So they were probably the most desirable, I would say.
Well, brother, hey, I appreciate you, man, for real.
Hey, no, I appreciate you. I'm trying to get this picture of us. Give us a big smile, Houston. There we go. Hey, listen, everybody. Follow Houston Alexander, the Houston Alexander Foundation. The guy's always up to something. He's busy.
Yeah, HoustonAlexander.org.
HoustonAlexander.org. Follow him on Facebook. The man is more than a fighter. He's a great dad. He's a great artist, heck of a DJ, and as I found out tonight, a good comedian. So everybody follow my good buddy Houston, because he's always up to something good.
Oh man, hey, that's so harsh, man. So such a hater already. I don't know why I even finished this interview.
I can't either. I mean, now listen, we're gonna do it again. You got to talk. I'll have my beard even better by then.
And I might have to grow a beard because I got a goatee, and I probably need to adjust for men because your shit is like tight.
I promise I've got gray in this, dude. I promise.
Okay,
a lot
bro,
of
I just need to adjust for men. I get my just for men game up. I'm good.
Okay, what I'm going to do before we get, well, actually, I'll do it after we get off here, is I'm going to take a Just for Men photo, and I'm going to put your face on it, and we'll get you a sponsorship for bare knuckle fighting for Just for Men.
I try to tell them after every fight, they was like, "Hey man, how come you look so good?" I tell them Just for Men.
We're going to get you sponsorship. That's going to be on your trunk.
Hey, Just for Men, and we need that sponsorship. Me and Adam for the podcast, and for me to fight.
Absolutely, and pro wrestling. So we've got a lot of stuff you can get your hands in.
And the DDT with the Ultimate Warrior. I don't know about that. They don't know about that. I appreciate you.
Houston, thanks for being on. Go get you some rest, because I guarantee you got something to do tomorrow.
I got another school event tomorrow.
Good. Hey, listen, keep it up, man. I'm proud of you. Thank the good Lord for blessing us with some time tonight, and you have a good day tomorrow, man.
I appreciate it, brother, and thank you for calling me from the Bible Belt.
Hey, no problem, my man. You take care, and we will see you before the bare knuckle box.
All right, but thank you, and please get your son to play football, even though you didn't.
Hey, he is. He's a receiver, and I was just, what was it, Rocky? Did you ever watch Rocky 5 before we got off here?
No, you didn't play shit. Stop it.
I know. I'm a loser.
Tell your beautiful wife good night.
I will, buddy. You take care, bud.
All right, brother.
See you.